For having us into your home.
Thank you.
Are you ready for the 73 questions? So, what inspired you to start blogging?
I've wanted to start a blog for years and years, but I never kind of found my niche. But then what happened was that I decided to write a book, and I wrote a book about time management. And when I finished it, there was so much stuff that I wanted to say and hadn't said yet. I decided to start the blog, and also I wanted to start it because I actually needed to get my name out there, because there was this book coming out by Nakita Attard Vassallo, and no one knew who I was.
What is the hardest thing about running a blog and a family?
I think the hardest part is not the blog and the family, because I'm pretty good at time management, as you might gather. The tough part is balancing work and family life. It's always a struggle, but I'm very careful to try and balance both out. And in reality, balance per se doesn't really exist in the sense that there are days when I need to prioritize work, and there are days when I need to prioritize my family, and I'm perfectly fine with both of that.
You have a very, very beautiful home. What is the coolest thing about this home?
The size, because it's not large at all, but I've got a lot of intelligent, organized systems to ceiling cabinets and stuff like that, so I can store the stuff that I need and that I want and that I love, but there's no space for extra clutter, so that's perfect.
That is perfect, actually. Best place to hang around as a family?
The home. I love my home.
How do you distress?
I try not to get stressed in the first place. But when I do feel stressed, I need time alone. I just need to breathe, and just yoga actually helps me a lot as well.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yoga.
What is the best part of being a mom?
The best part is getting to see the world through your kids' eyes.
Oh.
It's like being born again, kind of, and just seeing, like, going through the motions of, like, first day of school, traveling, and all these beautiful experiences.
What is the hardest thing about being a mom?
Letting them make mistakes. Because you have to. They need to learn, and you cannot always be there to, like, I mean, okay, you'll let them get up, but you cannot always catch them because they need to learn.
Yes, very true. What is one thing you miss pre-motherhood?
I think the most thing that I miss is to just travel without having to think about what to do with the kids. Like, we do travel alone as well, or they're coming with us, we need to pack lots of stuff, so I think that's the main thing.
Very true. If you could have just one thing that would make life perfect at the moment, what would it be?
I'm quite positive, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, obviously I have my ups and downs, but I don't really need anything else, to be honest.
Good. What is something you have done in your life that you wouldn't advise your children to do? Tricky one, this is.
This is hard, because I've thought about it, but...
And remember, they'll probably watch this at some point.
Yeah, they will. They do, and their friends as well. There isn't really, I don't think that there's anything, because at the end of the day, they need to live their life, they need to go through the motions of making mistakes, and it's just life.
Cool. One thing you wish to do but haven't yet?
Travel for long periods. For example, go to Asia for 6 months, 3 months, but I'll do it. I'll get there.
What is your favorite thing to do when you are at home, like not working?
In summer, it is spending time, and in spring as well, in the terrace. I just love chilling out in the terrace, barbecuing and just chatting away. And in winter, it's the same thing. I mean, it's either with my family or else we'll have friends over, so it's inside or outside, and it's just we're gathered around the table. Normally the kids are playing and we're playing some music and we're eating something for sure. And we're drinking tea or wine most probably.
Depending on the time of the day,
Yeah,
I
depending
guess.
on the time.
What's one thing you wouldn't mind never doing again?
Cleaning. I don't really do much of that because I like to outsource stuff which isn't my zone of genius and I focus on other things.
Last concert you attended?
Joseph Calleja.
Best 5 local bloggers we all should be following at the moment?
I'm going to support my fellow mama influencers / bloggers. So I will mention Lauren Damamo, a bird with a French fry. I will mention Mummy in a Hurry, who's got this hectic life, yet she manages to do it all. I will mention my trio, Raiza. I'm trying to remember because my memory is quite bad actually. Island Mama, South African Beauty. And one last mama blogger, gosh. All the other moms were. I mean, I follow them all, honestly, but...
So let's do the
Those are my
last
four.
one.
If I remember someone else, I'll say it.
Favorite musician or band?
Coldplay, hands down.
How do you keep yourself motivated?
I remember my why. It's so easy to get demotivated, but when I feel demotivated, I just take a step back and think, why am I doing this?
One silly thing you can't believe you've done?
Again, I don't really have any regrets or...
No, not any regret, surely not. Surely
cannot
not.
think of any.
Do you have any pet names for your children?
Well, I just shortened their names really. So Nina is, it's more my husband who picks on them and makes up all of these silly names rather than me.
Nina is quite
Nina's short and Yannick, I just call him Jan.
Exactly. What would you cook for a 3-course dinner party and who would you invite?
So I'd invite my family or my best friends. And although I love to cook, when I have people over, I don't focus on stressing myself out with the cooking. So I'll go for something simple so we can spend time together.
Good. And what would you cook then?
I love cheese platters because they're easy and you put them together really quickly and you just put them on the table and it's like not everyone's just digging into his food, but you're like nibbling and talking.
Exactly.
In summer, I love cooking on the barbecue. So
that's best idea ever. Best idea. Best advice you got from your dad?
My dad is a man of few words, but when he talks, I listen. So I cannot really pinpoint to one specific occasion, but he gives me pretty good advice.
What were you most surprised to learn about motherhood? Something that caught you?
I never expected that I would appreciate my parents half as much. Like when you become a mom, I think that's the thing that really hits you. You're like, wow, so that's how my mom and my dad felt and feel.
Very true. What is the most dangerous or adventurous thing you have ever done in your life?
I'm not very adventurous. I cannot even go on a roller coaster. My daughter and my son love them and I cannot go on a roller coaster. But I think the most adventurous thing that I've done, and I was near tears until I started it, was whitewater rafting in Bali. But I enjoyed it so much. I'm going to do it again.
That's good. Most unforgettable day?
There are a couple. Obviously, there are the cliches like getting married, having kids, when Neil proposed, and when I launched my book. Most definitely, that was a day to remember.
I think so, but I imagine so actually because it's something so satisfying. What is something you consider unforgivable?
This is hard because I'm a bit of a strange person in this because I'm sure that a lot of people could rattle off a million things, but I feel like I cannot judge because this is so personal. Like, for example, if someone did something to me, how could you judge if I have to forgive him or not? It's about how I feel, it's about the story, it's about the person, so exactly. I cannot really pinpoint here, I'm afraid.
If you could offer your 13-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
My son is 14, so I offer him the same advice, but youth is wasted on the young. I try and explain that this is like the best time of your life, like make the most of it, because you look forward to growing, yet the older you grow, the more responsibilities you shoulder, and you always look forward and you want to grow older, yet you never really get to experience and enjoy the now.
The moment, very true. If you were not living here, where would it be? A beach, a farm, mountains, or in a busy city?
Busy city, definitely not. I'm not a city girl. So whilst I'd enjoy a few hours, it would drain me and I'd go back to my beach or to my countryside.
Very true. See, it's not just mid-drains with the noise and the
is.
traffic and everything is going on everywhere. What is the last thing you splurged on?
Last summer, I bought my first Louis Vuitton bag.
Ooh,
That's my last
nice.
splurge.
Dream destination, just for you and your husband now.
Anywhere in Asia. We've only been to Bali so far, but I love the Asian way of living and it's just a beautiful place to visit.
What is a book that you read in school that positively shaped you?
I honestly cannot think of one specific book that helped shaped me, but books overall, I mean, they're very influential in my life because I love to read and I learn a lot from reading.
What is the last book you read?
It is called, it's about parenting and it's called How to Raise Your Spirited Child. I actually listened to it, but it's a very good book.
What is one thing you hope your children would never do when they grow?
Not appreciate life.
If your life was a song, what title would it be?
Don't worry, be happy. I love singing it with my daughter, she knows it.
If you could have a different life or career, what would it be?
I wouldn't change a thing.
Career. Do you
No,
see?
yes, I love what I'm doing.
How would your best friend describe you in 3 words?
Organized, punctual, and fun, I hope.
Something that truly, truly annoys you.
There are a couple of things that annoy people being late. We were on time. And people being dishonest. I cannot stand that.
It's true. Name one person you would never, never, never have time for. A person.
Dishonest people. I couldn't.
What is the best compliment you ever got on your blog?
I do receive a couple of good...
You do?
Like, I don't have a specific one, but it seems to help mothers and busy people, so...
Yeah. What is the worst comment you got on your blog? Did
So
you ever
far,
get
I have never had negative feedback about the blog. I mean, I'm ready for it. It might come. I can appreciate that. Not everyone likes everything, but
Exactly.
so far I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Yay. Do you ever dance like nobody's watching, like when you're here on your own cleaning?
I think the most dancing that I do is with my daughter. I don't do it alone. It's like just to move, and she loves to dance, so we dance, and it lifts her spirits as well.
One thing, do you have one thing that you actually regret, like not starting something earlier in life or not doing something as much as you'd like to have done?
Regrets per se, because I've learned from the mistakes that I've made, so I don't really have that one thing that I can say like I've done that badly. I wouldn't ever do it like that again. So I'm fine.
What is the biggest surprise you ever got?
My husband's proposal. We were abroad and we were on Barceloneta beach and he was trying to coax me into going on the sand. He's like, come. And I'm like, I'm wearing heels. I'm like, no. He's like, come. No, I'm not going on the sand. And then I thought, I think he's up to something. So I took off my shoes and I walked on the sand. It was a surprise.
It was worth taking off the
It was
heels
worth
then.
it.
Best childhood story?
Again, I don't really have a story. My memory is also not very sharp, so I wouldn't probably remember specific stories, but I have lots of happy memories with my family and just the normal stuff.
Growing up in a different kind of era, to be honest, at that time. What best childhood tradition that you would like to keep in your family?
This was actually unintentional. When I was born, my dad bought me a necklace with my name. I'm not wearing it, I'm always wearing it, but I'm not wearing it today, coincidentally. And he went and he got it made as soon as I was born. So when Nina was born, my husband did the same, and I cried so hard when I got it.
That's
so
such a
now
nice
it's like
thing.
a tradition in my. I'll give it to Nina. She doesn't know about it because she wouldn't wear it. She's still young. It's a gold chain, but I'm sure that when she knows about it, because she likes my one, she will love it. And I'm trying to kind of keep the tradition up by talking to my kids about it. It is a nice
thing, actually. What is one thing you would never let your family eat?
I don't really restrict foods. I try to teach them moderation and what's good and what's bad and let them make their decisions.
Last gift you gave a friend.
My best friend who always feels cold, so I got her very thick socks, very pretty as well, and the hot water bottle.
Aww.
And there was something else inside this package, but I try and buy things which are actually useful.
Useful, very good idea, very true. What is your favorite board game?
Not really a board game person, but if I had to choose, it would be Monopoly. It's a classic.
Diamonds or pearls?
Diamonds, please. Husband. If you watch this, he's on YouTube, so he might watch this.
Can you describe an experience you felt most nervous, more excited?
The first time I went live, I was going to die. I couldn't breathe. No, I'm fine on camera,
But did you actually publish it, even though you were very
published
You
it,
published
yes,
it.
it was live, and I actually did so well that someone from the US spotted me, and they're all about live streaming, and they're like, "We watched you, and you did really well. Can we interview you for our show?" So
imagine that.
I wasn't as nervous then. I mean, I had got used to it.
Live is definitely a lot harder to do.
It is.
Very true, because you don't have that chance to have a mistake and correct it. No, just go for it. But it's fun.
It is.
Where do you see yourself in 15 years?
In 15 years, I will probably be either living here or if not here, somewhere very close, but more in the countryside. But it's quite quiet here as well, so I like it. I'll probably, I'd love to be doing what I do now. Hopefully my online course would have evolved, so it's bigger, and I'll have a couple of more courses as well. I might be a grandma. Because my son is 14.
Exact.
So you never know. And hopefully I would have traveled to Asia for a couple of months as well.
What is one thing you cannot do?
Iron. Cannot and will not, because I mean at the end of the day we split tasks inside the home, and my husband is pretty good at it, so I try not to. I'm very fair as well. When I buy pieces of clothing, I try and I don't buy the stuff which gets really creased, you know, unless it's
I check before.
because it's a waste of time at the end of the day. Like, we don't iron PJs, we don't iron slots. Thank you very much.
What is the best thing that happened to you in 2019?
I made the decision to leave my full-time job, which I loved so much, but I continued growing my own business, and that was the best decision.
What makes you cry?
Everything. I cried very quickly.
It's good to see people like me, because I do all the time as well. Favorite all-time movie?
You know, I'm not a movie person.
No?
I'm not a movie person because I feel that it really restricts my imagination. I'd rather read, because when I read, I can imagine things in 100 different ways.
Very true. Something that scares you?
Not enjoying life. Again, life, I mean, it's such a gift. Don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of traumas and bad moments, we all have. But you every time something bad happens, I look back and somehow there's always the reason for it.
Exactly.
And I've grown out, I've come out stronger, I've learned something, and you appreciate life as well.
You appreciate it more, it's very true. What would be something your followers would be surprised to know about you?
I am quite open, so I'm not quite sure that there's anything that they would be surprised to learn about. I think that most of them by now know that I was very disorganized when I was younger, and I was like stressed out, and I was a mess. Which is why I took the decision to put my foot down and change. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if there are new people who have just started following me, they might not believe this, but believe it or not, I was the complete opposite of what I am today.
What you are now. That's why you enjoy the journey.
And that's why I like to teach it as well, because I know that I'm not speaking like from a place of I know it all. No, I'm speaking from a place of I've been there, I know it's hard, I know it's a struggle, but we can all do it.
Exactly. So, here's the hard one. You wake up in the middle of the night and hit your toe with the furniture. What's the first thing you say?
I don't think I should say it. Let's face it, I don't think anyone would
We had a few that did.
We've had a couple. That's what the little beeps are for.
Have you you ever regifted a gift?
Wine, because I put it up there and it just gets regifted.
Most annoying word in English? I have mine and I hate it.
I don't have one.
No?
What's yours?
Moist.
Really?
I
find
hate
it.
that word. It's useless. I don't know why they use it.
But what do you say if something is
I just think it's really annoying. So, what is your favorite holiday season?
When you say holiday season, do you mean like
Easter,
Okay.
Christmas?
Definitely Christmas.
And
Christmas.
what is the very first thing you do in the morning?
Wash my face.
I go for the kettle before.
No, I need to wash my face. I cannot wake up if I don't wash my face.
Best skincare product ever used?
I'm not really a product junkie, so best skincare product, any moisturizer. I'm not really...
Do you have any?
I try and eat balanced meals, I drink my water, and I just moisturize.
Favorite local fashion designer?
Charles and Ron.
One thing in your kitchen you cannot live without.
I'll give you 5 guesses. Slow cooker.
It's very true, very true.
Yeah, watch the unboxing of that one.
So, give us one time-saving tip.
There's so many. I'm going to start from the very, very basic. It's that people need to realize that they actually own their time before trying to save time. Because people think that it's a tough job trying to plan, for example, when in reality you don't have time not to plan.
It's very true. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Last person you messaged?
My husband. You.
I mean,
I don't lie, you see, I'm very honest. But before that, it was my husband.
worst excuse you ever came up with?
Might have been something silly from my teenage years because I'm usually brutally honest. So I'm quite honest.
What do you find yourself wasting time on the most?
The tendency would be social media, but I'm careful about it. So it doesn't happen that often, but yes, sometimes it does happen.
It does. Describe social media in 5 words.
To try and help them, motivate them to
Exactly.
live the now and manage their time better.
So, last one then. A word of encouragement for all the moms, bloggers that are trying to start their blog. Actually, they are starting it now this year.
It is very doable. We don't all have the same skill set, but you can outsource the stuff that you're not good at and you can focus on what you're good at. And time management is very important. Batching is my number 1 tip. So don't just sit down and write 1 blog post, but sit down and write 4 and get them scheduled and ready and just focus.
That is the best trick ever. So those are the 73 questions. Thank you for doing them with us. But you have a bonus question.
I get to say something now.
Yeah.
So, are you following mtlatv on social media?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for having us in your lovely home.
Thank you. It was really fun.
And, yes, it was. And now your followers can know a little bit more about
Oh, you know me very well as well.